What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Inside Man United. My name is Rowan Brennan, and today's episode, we're taking a look at the League Cup match with Crystal Palace. A couple of injury concerns, which are forcing Erik Ten Hag's hand more than he may have otherwise had to. So a bit of a makeshift team with new players coming in to kind of make their full match starting debut. Another reshuffle at the back with some backups now gone, starters now back, and maybe a little bit of a reshuffle up the top of the pitch just to give some players an extra bit of a run out. So we look ahead to how United are going to be lining up against the first game of two against Crystal Palace that United will be playing over the next couple of weeks, this time in the League Cup. Let's get into it. So United kicking off the defence of their League Cup from winning it last year against Crystal Palace on Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the evening. Going to be a bit of a mix-up. The games are obviously coming thick and fast for Manchester United. Looking ahead, Crystal Palace at the moment obviously still missing Michael Olise after his injury with the England under-21s. So a big miss there, obviously with Wilfried Zaha also missing. Crystal Palace looking a little bit light in those forward positions. They haven't been scoring a huge amount of goals in their game so far. They did get 3 goals, I believe it was against maybe Burnley. And they had a 0-0 draw against Fulham there over the weekend, with most of their other games being 1-0 losses or 1-0 wins. They're not scoring huge amounts. They're quite defensive and have been quite tough to break down. How they line up for this game is anybody's guess, but they will prove a stern test for Manchester United. But that's going to give United an opportunity to start blooding some youngsters. Injury news with United. Regulon did come off at the end of the Burnley game. Was holding his hamstring. People thought there may have been a hamstring injury there, which would have been a disaster. But Ten Hag did confirm that he was ill before the game and had decided to play on anyway, showing the kind of attitude and determination that he expects from all members of the squad. So taken off just as a bit of a precaution. Given how light we are on that side of the pitch, I can't see Ten Hag risking Regulon in this game. So other people will have to be filling in on that left-hand side. In terms of injury news, it looks like Amrabat is coming back. He did get a few minutes at the end of the Burnley game, coming on, stretching his legs, just pulling the jersey on for the first time and getting a few minutes. But this looks like it's going to be his first starting debut, with the likes of Kobe Mainoo still training and on their way back. United's midfield reinforcements look to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So Amrabat looks like he will be getting a run out, and other people will probably be taking a step out from the midfield just to give them a little bit of rest. Anthony Martial now looking back fit. Didn't get any minutes against Burnley, but did look quite lively against Bayern Munich, and I think it's safe to say that he might be getting a start for United. In terms of any other injuries with United, I don't think there's anything else to report that we don't already know. So we might as well just get straight into the United starting 11. In goals, we've got Altan Bayındır, the Turkish transfer that we got from Galatasaray, I believe, or was it Fenerbahce? I can't quite remember. I think it was Fenerbahce. He is now coming in and will be getting his debut in goals for United against Crystal Palace in the League Cup. A great opportunity to rest Onana and to get Bayındır there, to get him used to playing behind, I'd say the defence, but I don't think the defence we have now, I hope to God, is not the defence that we're going to be having in January when Onana does eventually get to the AFCON and will be missing for a number of games for United, at least 4 Premier League games. So Bayındır is guaranteed to be getting a pretty good run, depending on how Cameroon do in the AFCON and how deep Onana will be taken into that tournament. But he is certain to be missing, and Bayındır is certain to be getting some games. And now is the time for him to start and get that fitness and awareness up. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for him to get some minutes under his belt and not be coming in cold like so many substitute keepers find themselves during important games, certainly during the Premier League. So this is a nice one for him to be able to get some minutes under his belt. In the defensive positions, with Regulon out missing, I think it's safe to say that Diogo Dalot will be coming in that left back position. And in the central positions, that's where some decisions need to be made. With Aaron Wan-Bissaka missing and Dalot now needing to provide cover on the left-hand side, right back is where some creativity is going to be needed. So Victor Lindelof, I think, will be coming in at the right-hand side with Johnny Evans in the middle of the pitch. And I don't think Lisandro Martinez is going to be risked. I think it's safe to say that Rafael Varane will be coming in because he badly needs to get some minutes under him. Of course, he's one of these Rolls-Royce players that you want to keep wrapped up in cotton wool to save him from any of these types of cup games that are kind of unnecessary minutes, but he is coming back from an injury. We need to get him fit. And again, we don't want him coming in cold for the next Premier League match, which of course is against Crystal Palace. So this is a good opportunity for him to just get used to the way Palace play and to get some minutes under his belt and get some fitness and get him back to where we know we can get him. So that back line, we've got Alton Bayindir in goal. We've got Dalot and Lindelof on either flank with Rafael Varane. And of course, Johnny Evans having a great game against Burnley, almost getting a goal for himself, it going in, but of course being disallowed. A beautiful ball into Bruno for the assist for the winning goal. And just having a statistical masterclass, winning aerial duels, ground duels, winning tackles, progressive pass, assists, 91% completion rate. The guy had an absolute barn burner of a game, and I think fully deserves to be starting yet again for United, albeit in a League Cup game. The more minutes and better fitness that Johnny Evans can get, I think he can be a real asset to the team as the season goes deeper and deeper. Midfield, this is where we're going to have to see a little bit of change up and some players being rested. I think it's fair to say that Bruno should be given some minutes off. And Sofian Amrabat looking to make his debut from the starting whistle and getting hopefully a full 90 minutes under his belt just to get, again, his fitness up in preparation for those more important league games. In beside him, I mean, do we want to risk Casemiro? There is talk that Casemiro might need more minutes just to keep getting his fitness up, or is it a case of he's looked a little bit leggy and we want to keep as many miles off the clock as possible? Last year, he played more matches for Man United than he ever did in any season for Real Madrid. And this is a Real Madrid team who are often in possession of the ball and not playing overly defensively and trying to run all over the pitch, trying to win the ball back, which is what Casemiro has been doing. So a very different style of play for Casemiro than he would have been used to in dominant La Liga performances with Real Madrid. Could he start? Absolutely. Do I think he should? No. I'd prefer to get Hannibal in there. The guy has played very, very well, playing 90 minutes in a row against Burnley and, of course, against Bayern Munich. And I want that to continue. He needs minutes. He wanted minutes. Let's give them to him and let's get him used to just playing at that more senior level as often as possible. So for me, I would have Hannibal and Amrabat in the base double pivot of a three-man midfield. Not really a double pivot. If it's a three-man midfield, I'd have Amrabat coming in as the 6 with MEJBRI playing as that number 8, being box-to-box, using his youth, his energy, his fitness, and playing between the lines and connecting those balls in from Amrabat and just trying to bring defense and attack together a little bit better. Christian Eriksen coming in for Bruno Fernandes. Of course, he needs to get some rest. He's been playing very well. He plays every minute of every game, and we saw towards the end of last season and even the season before that Bruno can start to tire towards the end of the season, given how much energy he puts into every game and how many games he typically plays. So I think for the three-man midfield, we're going to have Sofian Amrabat, Hannibal MEJBRI, and Christian Eriksen coming in as number 10 for the resting Bruno Fernandes. Eriksen, of course, has always played as a number 10. It's his best position, and I think it's safe to say that Christian Eriksen coming in as a number 8 has not really worked for many games so far, and I think it's quite important that we get him into a number 10 position. That's where he does his most damage. He likes to face the opposition goal. He doesn't like to be running back towards his own goal, looking at his own goalkeeper. So Christian Eriksen in a number 10 position, I think could look quite exciting. He hasn't played too well, but he's been playing in positions that aren't natural to him, and I look forward to seeing him in his more natural number 10 position, supplying some balls to what will be quite a new look forward line. In the forward positions, I think it is kind of time to change things up. And with this introduction of a kind of a narrow 4-4-2 that Ten Hag has been playing with Rashford and Højlund up front, I think it's time to give those two a break. They will get their chance against Crystal Palace, of course, when we play them in the league. However, a 4-3-3 looks likely here. And I think it's time to get Garnacho and Pellistri out on those wings. Pellistri, of course, to be out on the right wing, and Garnacho to be on the left wing, cutting in as that inverted right-footed, left-sided player, where he has shone so brightly in many games last year. Coming on for Rashford or playing there when Rashford's been up front. Garnacho's been an absolute dynamo there. He has been slow out of the blocks so far this season, but I think everyone in the United squad has been pretty slow out of the blocks for the most part. So I think getting Garnacho to start the game on that left-hand side and giving these guys as many minutes as possible to impress, this is a great opportunity for people to stake a claim for the starting 11, even for the Premiership games. There are plenty of opportunities here for players that are now fit, with opportunities to prove themselves. Hannibal has taken this opportunity. Garnacho did it last year. And Pellistri hopefully gets another chance to improve, get his fitness up, get used to playing with this 11, and to improve upon the performance that we saw against Bayern Munich. Up top, I think it's time to give Anthony Martial a start. He has looked very slow, not just this season, but for a majority of the last 2 seasons, he's looked very, very poor. However, when he did come on and make a cameo against Bayern Munich, he was a difference maker. He did create all sorts of trouble on that left-hand side. His feet looked good. He was beating his man. He was drawing players out of position. He was fast. He looked like the Martial of old. Now, how often have we said that? Too bloody often. So we've seen many a false dawn come from Anthony Martial. So I'm not going to get too excited yet, but there are encouraging signs that he can come in and lead that line and give Marcus a little bit of time off, give Højlund a little bit of time off to keep continuing to recover from that back injury. And again, there's a huge amount of pressure on that young man's shoulders coming in as the striker leading the line for one of the biggest clubs in the world. So giving him a little bit of a break, I think, would do him the world of good. So Anthony Martial to start up top, with Garnacho on the left, Pellistri on the right, Eriksen coming in his favoured number 10 position. So I am looking forward to seeing what he can do there and how much supply he can provide to 3 forward players who are desperate to impress Erik Ten Hag, to get themselves on the score sheet, to show their ability to track back and defend, and maybe give the manager some selection headaches for that Premier League game against Crystal Palace later on. So I think there's an awful lot to prove here for these young lads, and I think these are the types of players, the profile of player that will rise to the occasion. I'm expecting goals in this game, and I'm expecting Hannibal MEJBRI to get forward, helping Christian Eriksen out in those more forward and advanced positions, with Sofyan Amrabat being the number 6, a position I think he needs to get used to. Amrabat was brought in to be a number 8 beside Casemiro for sure. The two of them, I think, will combine very, very well. But there's going to be many occasions where we expect Amrabat to come in as the number 6. Of course, he plays as a number 6 for Morocco. He is a bit of a destroyer. He likes to play very deep. His distribution is incredibly good. He's in the 99th percentile in Europe for mid and long range passes. He's in the top 1%. This guy knows how to spray the ball around. He knows how to get the ball forward, and I think he's going to be very, very dangerous from those deep lying positions. But he also doesn't allow people to dribble past him all that often. So his defensive qualities are certainly there, and it's certainly a reason why we've bought him. And in Casemiro's absence, he's going to have to learn how to play that number 6 position and provide that defensive screen in front of the back 4. So Amrabat to play as number 6, MEJBRI as the box-to-box number 8, Eriksen as the number 10, with that forward line I mentioned previously, and with our makeshift defense of Varane and Johnny Evans behind Amrabat, with Dalot and Lindelof, the flanks, and Bayindir in goal. So many people coming in here with an opportunity to impress, and I hope they take it, because this is really going to give some selection headaches to Erik Ten Hag if people do put in a performance that is worthy of maybe starting the next game against Crystal Palace in the league. So I'm really excited about this game, because you're not just seeing the typical people in positions that you're expecting to struggle and it's just going to be same old, same old. It's always exciting to see young, hungry, talented people coming into a team with a point to prove. It's almost a freebie because it's a cup game. If we get knocked out of this, it's not going to be the end of the world. Of course, we're the defending champions. We have the trophy. We want to defend it. But we did run out of steam towards last season, fighting on so many fronts. And as we've seen with managers in the past, winning League Cups and FA Cups is not too much of a barometer of success for this club. It's nice to get these trophies in these tournaments that you're playing in, but it doesn't save your job. Just ask Louis van Gaal. And it's not something that people are going to be screaming and hollering about. Our progression in the Champions League and how we do in the league is what is important to fans and players of this club this season. And while I want us to do well in every game that we play and every tournament that we take part in, if United get knocked out of this competition, I'm not going to be crying about it. The fewer games that we put on an already very overly stretched and injury-ravaged team, the better. However, if our fringe players and our youth players can come in, give our more senior players a rest, and put in fantastic performances to help us progress to the latter stages of this cup competition, I am all for that, and I certainly hope that is the case. So I'm very, very excited to see how these guys come in and do tomorrow. Tuesday, 8 o'clock, League Cup, United second string with some first string. I think it's going to be a great game. My prediction for this game is 3-1. Let's kind of keep things positive. Let's keep the mood light. And I think that these forward players are going to take their chances. I think with Eriksen, Hannibal, and Amrabat, all very forward-thinking players, combining with 3 very hungry frontline players with a point to prove, I think there's goals galore in this game. I really, really do. I think Palace could get a few goals as well, but hopefully we can stay resolute in our makeshift defense and put in a shift and make sure that we start presenting a more difficult challenge for teams in our kind of defensive third. So 3-1 United. I hope we progress out of this game. Last thing we want is a replay or a draw or additional minutes being given to these players. So 3-1. Let's put the tie to bed and look forward to a Premier League game against Crystal Palace later on. What do you guys think? What do you think the lineup should be? I mean, we could have 4-3-3, 4-5-1, 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2-2, 3-3-3-1. There's all sorts of different ways we could play this game with the personnel that we have available. So leave your comments. What do you think we should do? Of course, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit that notification button as well to get notifications on when my new videos are coming out. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Enjoy the match tomorrow evening, and I'll see you in the next one.